Welcome to the Powering Unique You podcast. Here, we create encouraging conversations to help you accelerate your career, expand your unique potential, and become a better leader.
Wow. Hello, my friends out there. Hi, my dear friend. I am so excited you are here. Happy Monday. If you're watching it on Monday today, if you're joining me live, happy morning to you, or maybe a good afternoon or a great evening, wherever you are. I am so thrilled. Today is a great day to connect, a great day to feel gratitude, a great day to grow, and hey, feel fulfilled, chase our dreams, and be happy. I believe today is a great day to do all of the things you want to do, my friend, and feel all of the good and great and enjoying emotions, all of this powerful, loving, happy emotions that you could generate from within. If you're joining in first time, my name is Jana Masik, and I'm hosting this broadcast live on LinkedIn, Powering Unique You. It's all about creating empowering conversations. My friend, as you're joining in, please let me know where you're coming from. I'm so thrilled. How's your day going today? I want to see you. I want to chat with you. I want to have a conversation with you. Today is an impromptu broadcast, and as I am soaking in and processing and learning a lot of new things, I felt I needed to share them with you. I felt that it is important to share our journey vulnerably. It is important to create a safe space for conversations that are not on the surface, deeper conversations, digging a little bit deeper from what's happening inside of us, and bringing some of the things that may not be pleasant sometimes to light, right? I do not know. It's easier, I feel, to leave behind the mask. It's easier to create this facade of a persona out there, especially in the workplace. You kind of have this persona all put together, or out there in the social media. You have all these personas, look at how great my life is. Look at my wonderful children. Look at my great career and my accolades and my certificates and my degrees. Look at how wonderful everything's happening in my life. And we tend to just look at all of this or create all of this on a facade. And deep down, there's just not that pretty of a circumstances, not that pretty of a feeling, not that pretty of a environment. So today I want to invite you to take off that facade. Stop looking at somebody else's life. Stop looking at somebody else's career. Stop trying to put yourself at work. A lot of times we do that at work. We want to put ourselves together at work so we won't have any, difficulties with our bosses, with our colleagues. So I want to invite you to have a little bit of a raw conversation today, a little bit of unusual. And that conversation is with you yourself, having that conversation with you, internal you. As I'm sharing my experiences about what voice, which of the inner voices do you listen to, my friend? Let me know in the comments, even if you're live or on a replay, do you realize you have maybe a couple voices? Not that we are crazy. Some people hear real voices, but hey, we do have some conversations internally, and sometimes we have a positive voice telling us, come on, you can do it. You can go an extra mile. You can go figure out that project. You can go mend those relationships. You can go ask for apology. That's okay. You've got what it takes. That is the encouraging voice, the positive voice. And then sometimes there's a voice that is just telling you, who are you? You're unworthy. You don't have a degree, or you have a degree, but you don't have what it takes. All of this is a facade. You are just not good enough. You're just not lovable. You're just never gonna get up to the standard or achieve what you want to achieve. You're no one. You're nothing. Have you heard that voice talking to you internally? Yeah, I'm interested to know. I admit I have. I have had that voice talking to me internally, and it's important to realize this last week's learning was a groundbreaking realization that the voice within my head that comes and talks to me in such a detrimental, sabotaging way, that deprives me and sabotages me, takes away, steals away the higher level of achievement and performance, the higher level of happiness that I can experience, and pushes me toward beating myself up, self-criticizing myself, indulging in this, woe me, sometimes victim mentality. This inner voice is not me. This inner voice, my friend, is not you. This inner voice needs to be identified and pointed out and say, listen, you little talker, you little voice within my head, I don't believe those lies anymore. So I want to invite you to this discovery of inner voices that we all have. I think we all have a positive, encouraging voice, and we have all this voice of doubts. So to me, it was really interesting to dive in, and I'm in a second week of training that is called Positive Intelligence Coaches Challenge. And it's a seven-week experience. And this challenge and the positive intelligence framework, or called operative system, that we could look at how we operate in our mind, how our mind works, and how we tend to either encourage ourselves or discourage ourselves. It's not necessarily rating your IQ. It's not necessarily rating your emotional intelligence. It's not necessarily looking at, whether you're extrovert or introvert. It's really looking at your positive intelligence and how often do you usually drag down or pushed away by these negative voices in your head, or how often are you pulled up and lifted up by the positive and encouraging voices. And this phenomenal gentleman, Shirzad Shamin, I hope that one day I can bring him here on the podcast. He created this framework that he identified that there are 10 negative personas, 10 negative voices that each one of us have. And most of those personas, some of them are amplified and some of them are diminished, but they do exist in our minds. And if you want to dig deeper into the framework and kind of discover it for yourself, go to positiveintelligence.com. There is a test there, an assessment there that you can take. But if you are just stick with me here to talk about the biggest. Oh, this was the biggest one. And that's the one that I've been learning this weekend, and I'm really looking into discovering and identifying it more. And the biggest I feel defeating, pushing away persona, so to speak, that exists in our mind, in Shirzad's framework is called the judge. And there are 3 applications to how this judge operates. Really fascinating. And I want to share that with you and just help you to reflect on how this comes alive in your own mind, in your own life, in your own thoughts and actions that you're taking, and how listening to this persona judge reflects on the results that you have in your life. And before we dive a little bit deeper into the judge persona that lives in each one of us, in our brain, and kind of ruling and judging. A lot of times it's negative. I don't think there's a lot of positivity in there. There's a lot of negative judgments, negative, like you're good, you're not good, you are just stupid, you're just, faking it. Who are you? Who are you? For me, it's like, who are you to do this broadcast? Who's going to listen to you? What value are you adding? Just give it up already. So there's a lot of these inner conversations that if we're not careful, we listen to, we incline our ear, we absorb it, and then we believe those lies. And because we believe those lies, this thinking becomes a pattern that then works to diminish, and even to our decrement, diminish and affect in a negative way our performance and our happiness. And what really was fascinating for me to discover is that a lot of people, they listen to this judge and they do achieve a certain level of success, or sometimes a certain level of external, achievement, so to speak. They get maybe degrees, they get titles, they run the companies, they have, a great income, a great lifestyle. However, that those people sometimes are just very unhappy inside. And hey, you don't have to have all the degrees and titles. Look at your own life. I want to reflect at my own life. Yes, I have progressed and achieved and grew my career and worked hard and have come a long way. And maybe looking at somebody else looking at me saying, look at her, how much she achieved and where she is now and how great it is to be where she is. But deep inside, I felt that I was empty and unhappy with all of these achievements. So I want to just share that it is not the achievements sometimes that bring us the happiness. It's the internal realization that happiness is something that we generate from within. But this persona, this judge, is working in a threefold, I would say the threefold ways, or the threefold modalities that is manifested in our lives. And the first modality, or the first power of that judge, is a self-judgment. It's the biggest self-critic. It's the biggest, honing down on you and telling you how bad you are, that you're not good, you're not worthy, you are just stupid, all of these achievements, it's nothing. You're just not lovable. You're never gonna get out of the mess that your life is in. You're never gonna, achieve the things that you truly want. All of these lies, self-defeatist, self-criticism. Gosh, I believe those lies. Looking back at and dwelled on those thoughts for so long. And it is such a relief and such power to take within your hands and to realize that you don't have to believe those lies anymore. This is not your voice. This is the judge that is trying to judge you internally and beat you down. And you have the power to say, no, I don't listen to those lies anymore. I don't want to believe to those lies anymore. And shift your perspective to what Shirzad in his framework is calling sage. Sage is the person, that persona that is encouraging, uplifting, curious, that activates the good decisions, that has empathy toward yourself and others. That sage person can be the best, and it's different segments of your brain where those personas live, so to speak. So the interesting part of it, the first modality is self-judgment. Then the second modality is judgment toward others. And here, let's observe. Let's observe the environment today. How much judgment, hatred, cancellation, just, negativity is poured out by so many on other people. It's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. And the interesting point for me, the discovery, again, self-discovery somewhat, is that the more you're self-judgmental, the more you are unhappy within, the more likely this judge is going to activate and judge others. And how does it come into your relationship with your loved ones, with your spouse or some partner or friendship? You're just looking, you're judging them. You're like, look at this. You're not up to my standard. You're not doing this and this and this and this. So you've been listening to this internal judgment, internal cursing, so to speak, of yourself for so long that out of abundance of your heart, there's nothing else that you can give. You go out and you spew the same judgment. You spew the hate. You spew the criticism on others. Oh my friend, you and I have a power to recognize this voice, to recognize when we start doing that, and to say, oh, no, wait a minute, judge, you are not there. You are not there in power. I am the one in power. I'm the one to make decisions. I'm the one to make observations and give encouraging statements or give encouraging, respectful thoughts that I have on certain things without tearing people down, without pushing people away. Oh, this is so powerful. Oh, my friend, this is so powerful. When we realize, you and I, when you realize that you have a power to either incline your ear to the judge and listen to this judgmental snarks that pushing you down toward destruction, that pushing others away from you, that ruining your relationships at home, your relationships at work, that ruining your productivity, that robs you of your happiness, you have the power to say no, to say no more. I'm not listening to this persona. I'm not listening to this voice. I am going to create a different reality for myself, internal reality. And yes, it is requiring a little bit of a work. It is requiring a little bit of digging, but it is requiring a little bit of self-reflection and self-empowerment. But hey, let's not agree to this judge rule over us anymore. I want you to just reflect how judgmental you've been to yourself on scale 1 to 10. How judgmental you think that you are toward others on scale 1 to 10. And then the third modality that I believe is very important as well is judging your circumstances, judging your conditions, and judging your outcomes. So when you've been judgmental, you've been self-critical, self-destructive, when you're pushing away others, those people that you love the most, or those people that you need to build a good, trustful ties in order to succeed in a team. You somewhat of pushing them unconsciously by judging them. And then you're judging this judge, your voice inside of you, judging the circumstances, saying, well, your circumstances are not good enough for you to be happy. It's just dreadful. And you need to be happy when you get to this level. You're going to be happy when you get to this circumstance. You're going to be happy when you get this kind of type of compensation, or when your kids grow up to this age, or when your husband's going to, or your wife's going to turn around and to be this way or this person. So it's judging your circumstances to tell you that you cannot be happy in this situation, in these circumstances right now. You're going to have to be happy when the thing comes, when the circumstance change. And that's the biggest, fattest lie, my friend, that I feel robs of so many people of today, this moment, present blessings of life. It's a biggest, fattest lie that we all somehow fall into believing. And we all somehow, most of us, maybe you're not like this, but hey, I realized I fell into that, believing into this, that only when I have this, I'll be happy. And the funny thing is that when we achieve it, we arrive to this, then we kind of feel a little bit of happy, but then the bar moves up again significantly. So it's like it gives you a little bit of, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I achieved it. But then, well, wait a minute, there is another bar. There is another level that you need to reach to be happy. So that is profound realization for me this week, that I am responsible for my happiness. And I have a choice every day. I have a choice to generate happiness. For me as a believer is to pray and praise my God and thank Him for all the blessings, for all of the wonderful, amazing things I do have in my life. And just say, hey, I want to be joyful. I want to be joyful today. I want to be happy today. Yes, it is not going to be perfect. Yes, my life not exactly the way I would love it to be, and I would love to improve a certain things. I would love to improve a certain conditions, circumstances. But hey, I don't want to be held back by loving my life, enjoying my life, and feel happy inside because of those circumstances that may or may not come. And that is a choice, a powerful choice, my friend, you have today. What is your judgment of your circumstances? This judge that is telling you to judge your circumstances in a negative way, pushing that happiness away up until it happens, or until when that thing come along. What is that judgment level? Where is your unhappiness level from 1 to 10? Rate yourself. Think about it. Consider that. I believe that is very powerful realization that you and I can gain, to see that we have this inner judge, inner voice that sabotages us, that is watching and looking out to push us, to deprive, derail our performance. Well, guess what? When you're self-judgmental, when you're self-critical, when you are self-beating yourself over, let's say you are doing 10 tasks and you've done 9 tasks and 1 task fell through the crack, and you are going to beat yourself because of that, and you are going to wake up in the middle of the night and think about it. How is it going to affect your reputation? How your boss is going to think about it, and what is going to happen? And when you think about this, and it gives you anxiety, it gives you, guilt, shame, all of these negative feelings, and you're just dwelling in it and dwelling it and dwelling in it, and that's going to create a lot of stress, and it's going to create a lot of restlessness, and it will deprive your productivity level, because you're going to be wary, you're going to be robbed of your positive optimism and energy. You are going to be doubting yourself. So it is going to affect your productivity that day or that week or that month. And the more you dwell on it, the more it's going to rob of you and affect your productivity, on how productive you are, the results that you're delivering at your work or in your business. It will be to your decrement. And you look at your happiness, it will rob you of your happiness because you dwell on these negative feelings. Again, self-judgment, judgment toward others, judgment toward your circumstances and results. Hey, my friend, this is, I believe, for me, is great breakthrough, a great breakthrough. So because it is such a great breakthrough, such a big realization, I felt I needed to share it with you. And that judge is not pretty persona. It's just not happy persona and not a good one. It's really, really ugly. It's ugly to see that, hi, there's a side of me that is just not good. But how can I take away that power? Take away that, trust that I'm putting it toward that judge and giving my power away, is again turning around and building the mental muscle of exercising your choice to pivot toward the wise person that you are. And according to Shirzad's framework, is called sage. And that person is dwelling in the area where you activate your positive thinking, your emotional and positive ways of approaching the situation, approaching yourself, treating yourself with empathy, giving yourself a pat on the back, say, hey, you've came a long way. You've came a long way. And interestingly enough, that sometimes how our experiences tie together, I am also taking a 6 months coaching program separate from mental fitness program. And the learnings through that and the conversation with the coach is really interestingly tied. And there were two areas that we looked at in my personal life. What affirmation can I create for myself to be more happy and fulfilled? And my affirmation that I created is that I choose to generate happiness through peace and joy and enthusiasm within every day. So I want to choose. It's going to be my choice. I'm going to choose to trust the Lord, to be joyful, to not worry, to not be anxious. So that's a positive affirmation for my happiness. And then we looked at productivity. Hey, this is so much related as well. We looked at productivity, and I say, I've came a long way. Looking back, I have to tell myself, look, you've came a long way from where you were. You've came a long way from where you were, and you worked very hard to get where you are right now. So just stop for a moment and celebrate and say, yay, you've done it. And you're doing it. You're taking the steps to go toward what do you envision for yourself next. You're taking the steps to grow. You're taking the steps to move toward the progress, to make a progress. And it feels good. So I want to encourage you to consider those two things. What is your happiness, and how can you increase and improve that? How can you generate more happiness? And what affirmation do you need to create for yourself to feel more happy, more alive, more optimistic, more enthusiastic every day? And look at your productivity and think about what affirmation can you create for yourself to remind yourself every day that you are productive, you are doing your best work, you are trying and putting forward the best work you can do. And give yourself that self-acknowledgement that, hey, you're doing the work. Is it perfect? No. There's not such thing as perfect. You don't want to be a stickler. Anyway, besides this huge big judge that is judging us in so many areas and others and circumstances, there's another 9 co-workers of his or co-saboteurs of his. And I encourage you to explore that on positive intelligence. It's really eye-opening. So yes, my friend, I invite you to create a positive affirmation for yourself, for your happiness and for your productivity. And start encouraging yourself. When you identify this judge, stop thinking about it. And there is simple exercises that you can also learn on positive intelligence that you could do, simple mental exercises that you can do to shift, to help your brain to shift from listening to this judge and other saboteurs, this negative voice that pushes you away, and shift your perspective to a sage perspective, to a perspective that is more helpful, finding opportunities in the challenges and mistakes, finding gifts that we all can consider from the things that we face in our lives, sometimes not very pleasant, and really move forward on a positive, encouraging way, in a very positive and encouraging way. So, my friend, I hope you find this helpful today. And I hope this has served you and added value to you. And if it's so, please either leave a comment or send me a message. I want to hear about your experiences, and I want to continue to cheer you on. I want to encourage you. Cheer yourself on. Give yourself the recognition. Give yourself the acknowledgement. Give yourself the love and self-acceptance. And when we do so, hey, we change the voices we listen to in our heads. And my friend, this is what I'm here for, to help you do the same. And until that next time that we see each other, please keep powering unique you.